Today I'm going to be talking to Chris Payne, who's the CEO of Miraclon, and I want to get his perspective on the current industry dynamics and how Miraclon is responding to them. Chris, welcome, and thank you for taking some time to answer a few questions today.
Emma, great to be here and happy to talk to you and all our customers.
So Chris, I'm just going to get straight to the heart of the matter. Miraclon has just announced a price increase, in fact the first price increase in more than 10 years of Miraclon selling the FlexLNX system. Why a price increase and why now?
So great, Emma, to talk about this subject. Clearly the supply chain in the packaging industry is of critical concern to everybody, whether you're a printer, a trade shop, or the brands. Clearly in today's environment, prices for everything, whether it be raw materials, whether it be distribution, whether it be labor, are all going up and they're affecting everybody in the value chain. The packaging converters are really experiencing a lot of price pressure and supply chain shortages. You see inks, you see substrates and other components they need in the printing process in short supply, and you see that prices are going up. Those are affecting everybody, and everybody has to pass those costs on through the value chain. For Miraclon, for the last year, our highest priority has actually been making sure that we can supply products. A continuity of supply has been critical to everything that Miraclon's been doing to make sure that we're getting plates to our customers so that they can produce the product for ultimately the brand that goes into the retail store for the consumer.
Got it. Can you tell me a little bit more about what you're seeing throughout the whole packaging value chain?
Yeah, clearly security of supply in all its aspects is key. Firstly, you know, the overall inflation of prices through the value chain is affecting the brand. It includes what they buy for packaging, it includes the raw materials of the food that you consume, and also all their distribution costs. Consequently, you're seeing the costs go up in the retail store. You also see the printer converters having to struggle with the supply of basic raw materials, inks, substrates, and other commodities they use in the printing process. All of those supply shortages are not just issues in the manufacturing process in terms of continuing supply, they also land up with higher prices as the customer spends more money buying materials that are in short supply, often at spot rates.
Okay. And can you tell us a little bit about how this price increase is going to be implemented? You talked about inflation measures, but you also talked about what's happening in the supply chain right now.
Yeah, so we've spent a little bit of time thinking through how the various different costs are impacting our customers and what's in the best interests of both the customers, the supply chain, and Miraclon. So we'll introduce two activities, one related to price inflation and one related to the supply chain disruptions. On the price increase, we see this as a permanent increase for our products, and that covers the raw materials, it covers our manufacturing increases of labor and utilities, and all the other things that have generally been affected by the general inflationary pressures. On the supply chain, we'll do a surcharge. We had a surcharge in 2021, we'll continue that. And that we see as being a charge that is going to moderate over time. We do believe the supply chain will stabilize and that prices should moderate over the long haul, being the next 12 months or so.
So in your view, Chris, how long will these inflationary pressures last?
From my perspective, the inflationary pressures are going to last for some time. As you can see here, we're tracking lots of statistics that we're making available to you from the European Central Bank, the International Monetary Fund, the Fed, and then consumer price indexes. If you look at all these, they're all going up at 4 to 6% per annum. My view is that this will continue for 2 or 3 years at least. And so we're gearing our organization, and we encourage you to gear your organization for the same inflationary impacts.
So can you tell us a little bit more about some of the specific actions that Miraclon has been taking throughout the COVID period to shore up continuity of supply for our customers?
Continuity supply for Miraclon has been a hallmark of what our whole team has focused on for the last 2 years, including COVID and the initial ramp, and then the more recent supply chain shortages. We actually started by making sure we had enough raw materials. We significantly spent money and effort to buy raw materials so we could guarantee our own manufacturing. And then more recently, we focused on actually manufacturing far more product because we recognized that the length of the supply chain was getting longer. We moved from being able to ship product around the world in 30 to 45 days to it taking 80 to 100 days to ship product from one location to another. And we recognized that some of our suppliers were having problems in shipping us product or getting their raw ingredients. So as we've moved through time, we've significantly increased both our inventory position of both raw materials and of finished goods inventory. And today that's about a twofold valuation of our inventory. We doubled the total cost of our inventory in the supply chain in order to make sure we can continue to supply every customer.
So Chris, let me ask you, how is business overall for Miraclon?
The surprising thing for our business during COVID, the last 2 years, has been the business has continued to see increased demand. One of the things we learned early in COVID is we had to guarantee the supply, and it's very clear that our customers are still producing lots of work. Our product in its basic value proposition helps the printer converters be more efficient. And we're seeing more demand for our product because of that. And then as we move forward, that higher demand means we're buying things both on a contract basis but also on a spot basis to meet the customer's demand. And for me, it's a good news story because we've got all these pressures on the business and on the supply chain, yet the supply chain itself is actually quite healthy. The amount of volume that our customers are producing, Miraclon's producing, and the retail brands are demanding is actually a good thing for all of us, and why I'm optimistic about the future, even though we have to do things like handle inflation, supply chain disruption.
So thank you, Chris. Your answers have been really, really insightful to my questions. Anything else that you'd like to say in closing to the customer base?
I'd just like to say thank you to all our customers for doing what you do every day and relying on us as a provider. You have our guarantee that we're going to continue to focus on the continuity of supply and at the same time continue to work on bringing you better and more innovative products that our R&D team are continuing to work on. And despite the issues that we've been talking about here, I do have a lot of confidence that all our customers, the printer converters, the brands, really appreciate our product, and we're going to continue to strive to do what we've been doing for you as we move forward.